It's been happening in Greece for over a decade, involving the simplicity of nature and the profound mystery of faith. I'm talking about a shocking event where bees, these small, organized creatures, seem to be performing a kind of artistic and spiritual reverence. They refuse to cover the faces of Jesus and the Virgin Mary in sacred icons. I'm not talking about coincidence, but a pattern that repeats itself year after year, raising a crucial question. Does nature harbor an instinctive respect for the divine? Is there an intelligence, or perhaps, a subtle intervention guiding these little builders? But first, write in the comments the names of people and relatives who urgently need prayer, and we'll include each of them in our main prayer, reciting the rosary fervently for all their intentions. It all begins in Kapandrite, a quiet town on the outskirts of Athens, where a devout beekeeper has a custom that, because it's so simple, has become a phenomenon of faith. Every year, he places small icons depicting sacred figures, such as Jesus and Our Lady, inside his hives. What unfolds there is worthy of close investigation, for when the bees begin to work, creating the hive structure and constructing the honeycombs and wax, they demonstrate an eerily precise pattern of behavior. They surround the icon, building a thick, detailed frame, perfectly enveloping it, but pause precisely when they reach the countenance and sometimes the body of the holy images. It is as if there were an invisible boundary, a natural warning saying, "Up to this point you may build, but this face is untouchable." The pure, white, and immaculate wax frame highlights the religious figures in such a sublime way that one feels as if they are not simply ignoring the area, but rather honoring and protecting the visibility of the sacred, transforming the icons into true spiritual works of art. Faced with this annual repetition, which manifests itself regardless of climate change or crop fluctuations, believers feel something beyond the inexplicable, the certainty of an intense spiritual presence, perhaps the manifestation of Heavenly Mother herself or guardian angels. Many people who observe these phenomena up close report a profound sense of peace and reverence, as if the purity of the bees' actions were a physical reminder of heaven's watchfulness over earth. It's tempting to ask, how can such small creatures, acting on pure instinct, demonstrate such sensitivity? Could their delicacy in construction be linked to a subtle connection with spirituality? Many claim that, just as dogs and cats perceive what we cannot see, these bees, immersed in their perfect and harmonious nature, capture and react to elevated energies and sanctity, avoiding desecrating that which is the object of our deepest adoration. This vision captivates and makes the viewer wonder about the level of connection the natural world may have with the spiritual realm, which we often ignore. The phenomenon gained even more powerful significance with the account of a monk, a figure who, driven by holy curiosity, decided to conduct his own experiment to test the sensitivity of bees. He chose a specific icon, that of the crucifixion, which featured, in addition to Christ, the two thieves, one on the right who repented and sought forgiveness in his final moments, and the other on the left who rejected him. Placing the icon in one of his hives, the monk's observation aligned perfectly with what had already been seen in Kapandrite, but with a crucial detail that elevated the story to a level of profound preaching. The bees meticulously outlined Jesus' face and, astonishingly, left the face of the good thief, the one who accepted salvation, fully visible. However, the face of the thief who hardened himself in error and rejected forgiveness was completely covered by a layer of wax, hiding it from view. This transformed the biological mystery into a powerful theological lesson. Nature itself, represented by the bees, seemed to make a distinction between repentance and obstinacy in error, glorifying those who embrace mercy. For communities of faith, the message is crystal clear. Purity, light, and forgiveness carry a weight in the universe that transcends our rational understanding. This isn't just about intelligent bees, but about an intervention, a kind of stamp from heaven confirming that reverence for the sacred permeates all realms of creation. Observing such a specific, morally oriented pattern in an insect lifts our souls, forcing us to confront how much our own lives reflect this same devotion. If irrational creatures, perhaps guided by angels or providence, pause before the divine, how much more should we, endowed with free will and the capacity for worship, bow down and honor holiness in our lives? It's a silent sermon, a catechesis of wax and honey that teaches us the difference between what we should expose and what can be swallowed by the darkness of the world. The face of Jesus and the repentant heart always deserve light and visibility. This display of reverence for nature has remarkable parallels in the history of spirituality, and perhaps the most famous is the episode involving Saint Rita of Cassia. Tradition has it that when she was just a baby, sleeping peacefully in a basket under a tree while her parents worked, something astonishing happened. A farmer who had been seriously injured and was bleeding ran toward her. As he approached the crib, he noticed a swarm of bees surrounding the child harmlessly. Startled, the farmer tried to shoo them away with his injured hand, and in this unexpected contact, he was immediately and completely healed of his wound. This story demonstrates that bees have a special and mysterious place in the narrative of faith, often associated with purity, order, and, in many cases, miraculous events. The existence of a specific type of stingless bee that mysteriously appears every year at the convent of Santa Rita on her feast day only reinforces the idea that the animal kingdom, with divine permission, can become a powerful instrument of miracles and preaching, echoing holiness in the most unusual ways. The mystery of the bees in Capandrite, involving the figure of Jesus and especially the Virgin Mary, is a call to faith in the continuous and loving intervention of the Mother of God in our world. The purity of the Virgin Mary and honey, often associated with the sweetness of her intercession, form a symbolic pair that soothes the hearts of the faithful. Seeing the Virgin's face free of wax, framed so zealously by bees, reinforces for many the feeling that Our Lady is ever vigilant, protecting and showing us the clear path that is her Son. This phenomenon does not seek to prove something already established by faith, but rather uses nature as a canvas to paint a message of hope and devotion, reminding us that, even in the frenzy of our daily lives, harmony and miracles are present. We just need eyes to see and a heart willing to believe in the sensitivity that exists even in the smallest creature that breathes in this world blessed by God. This story about the bees serves as a mirror for our daily lives. Just as they make a precise effort to keep the face of the sacred visible, we are called to keep the presence of Christ and Our Lady, and the message of the gospel, always evident at the center of our actions, preventing the wax honeycomb of worldly concerns and resentment from covering and extinguishing this light. The effort to build the bee's home with such order should be compared to our effort to build a home of peace in our hearts, with more prayers, more sincere conversions, and more acts of forgiveness. We cannot allow envy, fear, or lack of faith to obscure the face of Christ in ourselves and in others. We need to preach daily through our life testimony, forgiving more and seeking that peace that surpasses all understanding. It is time to renew our faith, to ask the angels to guide us, and for this, the intercession of the Mother is fundamental. Don't forget, your prayer has power. Comment now on the names of those who are in need of this special light and protection. We will include them in our great prayer of the Rosary, with great affection and fervor. It's truly inspiring how a simple mystery involving tiny bees in Greece can yield so much insight into spiritual presence, the importance of repentance, and the glory of forgiveness. Their sensitivity teaches us that reverence is a language that transcends species. What's your take on this mystery? Do you think the bees are simply following a biological pattern, or is there, in fact, the intervention of a higher power, angels, or the presence of the Virgin Mary? Leave your comment below. We want to hear your opinion on the shocking topic of bees. If you enjoyed this profound reflection on faith and the mysteries of nature, don't forget to like this video so this message reaches more hearts thirsting for hope. And, of course, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss upcoming curious events that strengthen our faith. May God and the Virgin Mary bless you and your family. Rest in peace.